The biggest thing that traditionally gets overlooked when you're talking about Bitcoin is the generational aspect of it. So when we look at the generation today that's holding the majority of the wealth, as people age, they accumulate more wealth, and the more affluent people in the world tend to be older. The environment that these people were born into and grew up in was a very different environment from a technology standpoint than the younger generations are growing up into today. They did not grow up with smartphones. They didn't even grow up with the computer or the internet. That contrasted with young people today who, from the time that they're a baby, might be having exposure to technology like an iPad or an iPhone, and are growing up interfacing with these extremely advanced technological devices. Now, how is this going to affect the future performance of Bitcoin, and why am I running through this? Every time personally I've spoken with a younger person, that being someone under the age of 25, about Bitcoin, they are accepting that yes, Bitcoin is going to be around in the future, it's going to be used. And if you ask them if they think it's going to be bigger than it is today or smaller, they all think that it's going to be bigger. When you just look at what the future of Bitcoin holds, you're going to see a shift where all of the people who were born in this technological generation begin to age, and they begin to accumulate a larger proportion of the wealth in society. As they accumulate this wealth, do you think that there's going to be more money that's going to be allocated from this generation to a digitally native currency like Bitcoin? Or do you think that there's going to be less money allocated from this younger generation to Bitcoin? I think that many of you would agree that as this younger generation grows, they're going to be much more open and willing to trust a currency or an asset class like Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. Tying it back to the financial aspect, you have a cap supply at 21 million that will ever be created. The last Bitcoin's expected to be mined in 2140. With a cap supply and an increasing demand as the younger generation gets older, you're going to see a much higher Bitcoin price. Overall, I would just say that that's one of the largest and most compelling cases and trends for a future dominant performance of Bitcoin.